Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to Georg Mack Plays the Classics. We move on to a perennial favorite in the early NES catalog, Excitebike. Excitebike was certainly a go-to game for me when I was a child. I liked making tracks, although I realize now how dumb some of them weren't. There are three modes of play to enjoy: a solo race, a competitive race, and track design mode. It's good to get your feet wet in the solo race to learn the ins and outs of the game. There are 5 tracks to choose from, and you move on to the next track when you beat the one you chose. If you can beat all 5, you keep racing on track 5 until you fail. You win a track by placing in the top 3 according to the time it took to finish. The A button gives you a steady speed. The B button gives you turbo. You have to be careful, as using the turbo will increase your heat, and once you max the gauge, you overheat and have to sit out for a few seconds while your bike cools down. There are jumps and obstacles placed on the track. You have to balance landing the jumps and keeping your speed up to beat the clock. You also want to avoid mud and grass, as they will slow you down. If you fall off your bike, you can mash the A and B buttons to get back on. The competitive race pits you against an endless supply of other riders. The added difficulty here comes from getting wrecked by your opponents. If they hit you with their back wheel, you'll crash and have to run back to your bike. On the flip side, you can wreck them too, which is what I do for fun. You have to keep this in mind because the AI wants to avoid bad obstacles and mud just like you. So if they are a hair in front of you and you both try to get in a lane at the same time, you're going to have a bad time. The design mode is a fun version. This is the first time an NES game allowed you to create a level that you could play. You have 19 different obstacles to place along the track. I have a fondness for Obstacle H, the super jump. Once you complete your track, you can race it solo or competitively. See if you can come up with a true masterpiece. In grading Excitebike, I give the graphics a 2.0. Graphics are average. I don't much care for the solid blobs of colors in the races. They aren't pleasing to the eye. The racers, on the other hand, look pretty neat to me. Sound gets a 2.5. I like the music. That's stayed in my head for 35 years, but I don't so much care for the sounds. The sounds are too harsh for me to be able to listen to for long periods of time. Gameplay gets a 3.0. Gameplay's solid. There's not much to the controls, and it doesn't seem unfair if you crash. You can learn to fix it next time. Difficulty gets a 3.0. The first 3 races lull you in with a false sense of security, then race 4 really hits you. You have to work hard and learn the ins and outs of jumping and keeping your speed to win that one. The fun factor gets a 2.5. Excitebike isn't the best game on the system, but I'd put it as one of the best launch titles. At least until I play all the other launch titles. Excitebike, overall, gets a 2.6, a B-, which is certainly within reason. There are a lot of games that'll grace this system, and Excitebike helps set an early bar. That's all I've got for today, so if you want to see more videos, go ahead and subscribe to Head Drop Productions. We'll bring you new classic video game video reviews for your enjoyment. See you next time.